Hey, Poe.
Yeah.
Players fuck up.
Playing that dog.
Players fuck up. Players fuck up. Players fuck up. Back. Players fuck up. Players fuck up.
Yeah. Airfield without conversation. With some clean crap on my soul is tainted.
Where's this guy, man?
Yeah, you're done now. Obviously, I'm late. You come with the san. The chair's a bit. I found a chair around the corner. You've got to find these things, you know? My brother, man, like, Frisco
Yes,
from the
my
den.
G,
Bro, you see when I see that? This right here. Do you know all I think, Frisco? We can do better, Tottenham. This has been the same since I was down here.
I know, man.
Since I was a kid.
But it's weird because they fixed up everything else. Well, not everything, but they fixed up a lot of stuff. They got rid of the phone box.
Oh.
It's mad, isn't it?
What's it like coming back down here as an adult?
It's mad.
Nah, come, man.
I'm always, you know what? It's mad, car. I'm always,
Yeah, no problem, my broski. You're done now, fam. Come.
yeah, I'm always local. Anyone that's from the ends, it's not like a big surprise seeing Frisco in the ends because Frisco's always has been and always. I'm always local. Like I'm not just about like I was about before, but it's not a big surprise to see me about. But yeah, when I come back, it's like what we was just speaking about before off camera, like the video we shot out here. Well, we shot many videos out here. Bare videos. But yeah, the few videos we shot out here, even like this little section here.
Yeah.
From the times of us shooting the video till now has changed a lot.
So many memories.
Yeah, and there's a lot of memories even before the music. Like
for me, I can't even lie to you.
This
Exactly.
is where it all started, man.
And this is what's funny and this is what I love about the artists from back in the day. A lot of the artists that I loved were very popular figures within their area anyway.
Yeah.
So you being Frisco, I can see your code. You was bare popular in the ends from early. I'm taking it back like my hairline to Temple.
Yeah, right.
So Temple, yeah. Usher was at Temple. Chairman who told me Biggie was at Temple. I heard ODB was at Temple.
Yeah, man, there was at Temple with Westwood. That's why I big up Westwood still. He's been a legend still. But yeah, Temple was.
Talk to me about Temple. What was that like? What was happening in Frisco's life, Temple era?
Temple era was the days of me just starting to go out raving with the man them. Like to proper raves, I mean, like not house parties. I mean like raves in Temple, like that was in the ends as well. Like that was the first times of going to a big club. No, actually I'd been to one or two clubs before that, but I mean like that, a club that was on the ends that we used to look forward to. Whenever there was a Westwood rave coming up, it was hype. Everyone was getting their gear together and all that. Would go down there, cause trouble, go home, get girls.
Cause trouble.
Yeah, it was some of the most fun times. Still, like I said, it was man's introduction into going out raving and partying and being in a big club, a club that used to always go past when you was a youth and know that there's bare raves going on in there, but you was too young to go there. So, yeah, that was. Them days they were special still.
What was the music in there? Because if you understand, I was going past and I kept going past and I never went in Temple. I think I went one time through the back towards the end of the rave like you do because after football sound like that. But the truth of the matter is, nah, I was never in Temple.
Yeah,
like that.
Temple was a sticky place as well. There's a lot going on in there. But yeah, music wise, it was like Westwood. So it was like everything. He used to play bashment, hip hop. That was the first time actually I saw like a mosh pit.
What do you mean?
With
To
my
what?
eyes.
To what music?
In Westwood, to hip hop, to Noriega. What?
Super fun. What?
Super fun. That tune used to lock off raves, bruv. Yeah, that was the first time I see mosh pit, man pushing and like bare fights used to start because obviously we're not used to mosh pits them time there. Man's got fresh crep on and man are stepping on man's crep, man. You get what I'm saying? But yeah. That was actually, when I think about it, that was the first time I saw a mosh pit with my own eyes, in like being in the rave as well.
He was not walking true, boy. I'll tell you what's funny about that. It's the first thing you said where I'm not used to that. Because that's what kind of happened. What's so funny about this world is that's how problems would usually start as well. It could be something as simple as someone standing in your trainer. So that was the environment you was in when you went to Temple.
Yep.
Was they playing garage there?
not so much at the Westwood raves. At the Westwood raves, it was more hip hop
Bashment.
and bashment. But then you would get garage, because at the time garage was big as well. So you would get garage raves there as well. What garage raves used to happen at Temple? I can't even remember, you know. But there was loads, man. There was loads, like some of the big ones as well.
So let's take a look at, because what I liked about the garage era, because I was so young, was I always looked at it, my older cousins were involved in it, and it had style, it had characters, it had sonics that everyone could. So I used to listen to and I was like, bro, I can't wait to go to a garage rave so I can wear the off-key Machino, and it just looked so sick.
Yeah.
Within that world, it kind of was like the early or almost like the nursery to grime.
Yeah, it was, so to speak. It was.
What was that like for Frisco growing up in that? So you're raving now, you're going Westwood raves, you're going Bashment raves and so on and so forth. And now there's just a genre of music which is very UK.
Yeah.
But within it, there's a group of individuals that don't epitomise maybe the mosh pit and they're from a different side where it's like, bro, don't step on my trainers and
yeah,
yo,
they were like the people that were doing garage was like, alright, put it this way. I've always liked to MC and always been an MC. In my own heart, in my own head, yeah? So any music, I feel like I can write a bar to. And I've always felt like that.
Soundman thing.
Yeah? So when the garage thing came in, I never really saw the MCs and thought, I want to do that. Like, I want to MC, yeah, but like the way you lot do your thing is sick and I appreciate it and I'm a fan of it. But I only started to want to do it myself when I started seeing Heartless Crew, So Solid. You get what I mean? Like, because they were more relatable. They were more, like you said, when we're looking at people like, and this is no disrespect.
No, it's just.
Because these men are legends, you get what I'm saying? Yeah. To the PSGs, the Creeds, all those guys, Rankin, all those guys, yeah? They were older, they were big men for us.
Yeah.
They weren't our age group.
Yeah.
You get what I mean? So, yeah, we could vibes to them and had all the tape packs and knew all the bars and all that, but it was a different type of, they were more host MCs. You get what I mean? So when So Solid started coming through and the beat started changing and started getting a bit darker, because remember, garage was a very happy and, which was sick as well.
I can't live without you.
It was very vocal and very happy, and we was with that as well. We're not even dissing that, like, because we was coming off of the back of Jungle, which was very dark, so the balance was cool anyway, yeah. But yeah, so like when So Solid and Heartless Crew and those people started coming through and they started spitting how like Mandem, like, oh, this sounds like Mandem kind of thing. The beat started sounding dark. Even people like Wookie come through and started making some dun 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 dun. All of that was like, that was the beginning. That was like, oh, okay, this is what I want to do now. This is more me. You get me? And that is when I started saying, all right, cool.
What's the standout though? What's the standout So Solid track or standout So Solid moment that made you go, wait a minute, where's my pen and where's my paper? Because Frisco time for fire up this blood.
I think it would have been dun 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 dun. That beat, yeah, at that time, yeah, was probably my favorite of favorite beats, and like I didn't care whether I heard it with the vocal or without the vocal. That was my shit. Like that made me started to write bars, and then they done 21 seconds, and I thought, oh, okay, this is mad now. Like the videos and like, remember this might even have been just before Channel U.
This is before Channel U.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying? So like the videos that we're seeing these men doing, driving around in TTs, explosions, climbing up the side of buildings, is unheard of, bro. Is unheard of.
Man are climbing up the gates. I saw these gates, I said this fence, and I said, yo, they're not letting anything stop them.
This shit was unheard of. This shit didn't happen. This was just, these videos you're used to seeing coming from rappers in America.
In America. And then over here, all of a sudden a vibe is coming where it's like, it is, yes, it has the sort of maybe certain sonics of garage and so on and so forth, but like you said, it's a bit darker.
Yeah, it took the tempo, sped it up just a little bit, a few BPMs, and then add some darker bass lines to it and some sick riffs, And there you had it. And then obviously the MCs were, remember, the garage MCs were, like I said, were host MCs. Yeah, they had bars and that, but the bars just sounded good. They weren't bars that we was necessarily relating to. Do you know what I mean? When the man them started spitting, man them was spitting about what's going on in the ends, this, that.
It was like
It was
reporters,
like,
innit?
it was like, yeah, all right, cool. This is more my thing now. I can kind of more relate to this. Like, man are talking about stuff that I'm going through, or stuff that I've seen, or stuff that I'm due to go through, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's when it kind of switched up.
What I find interesting was what I liked about Tottenham is everyone had a style relative to the area. So I remember Tiverton, when we used to talk about Tiverton, we used to go, all right, them man there, every single word is accounted for. Every single word. It doesn't matter if you have a flow like Frisco or a flow like Calabar or a flow like Red. It doesn't matter. Every word's accounted for. So you can't go over there if you ain't got bars. I was like, ooh, sugar. We need to start stepping up our game. But then you would go somewhere like Meridian, where I think they had bars as well. But one thing that was very unique about them was their characters. Their characters shone through when they spit. So they could say something, but if someone else said it, it just wouldn't sound the same.
Yeah,
but with Tiverton, man, every word was accounted for. So when you took that bar out and you put it up and you look at it like English, you said, yo. And you took their 16, you just went, whoa. How comes Tiverton developed that style? And the interesting thing to me was, then how did you, with that style, end up with Meridian doing Boy Better Know stuff? What was happening in Tiverton? Because again, it's just so much talent everywhere. There's just too much talent.
Yeah, so when I first started doing the Boy Better Know thing, obviously that was before Wretch and everyone else that was spitting after. So at the time, really and truly, at the time I was the only MC in Tiverton.
So you was the only man spitting in Tiverton?
There was like 100 man them and one MC, and that was me. Like
Jeez.
one guy that was spitting. We used to go everywhere, and like even the early stages of my career, like just going about and getting into the scene and going radio and going to this show and that show, I used to roll different, bro. I used to roll because I didn't really understand the thing. I just thought it was road still, innit? So
you're going to radio?
I'm going with 30 man and none of them do music. None of them know nothing, don't even know what a 16 bar is. Do you get what I'm saying?
The only 16 bar their man know is after a long night and they're drunk.
Yeah,
apart from that, there's no bar going in.
So them times there, like I said, I was just the only MC in Tiverton. And Tiverton wasn't really a music crew. That was just family crew kind of thing. You get what I'm saying? So when I linked up with Skep and Jay, like that, remember we was already linked up because we was doing Heat FM and other little stuff in the ends together anyway. But at that point, I wasn't really taking music seriously. Like when I first started to do the Boy Better Know thing, I wasn't doing music like that. It was just like,
I'm talented, I've got a bit of spare time.
Remember by that time I'd clashed Wiley.
Yes.
I'd clashed Wiley, came back from Napa, had a little buzz. Remember at that time, before that clash, nobody knew who Frisco was on that side.
Yeah, on ends we knew you.
On ends everyone knew, but
100.
over there no one really knew me musically.
Yes.
So after that, I kind of ran with that little buzz for maybe 6 months, if that.
Let's pause there with that. Before we get back to the Boy Better Know stuff,
Yeah.
with that buzz, what were the things that were happening to create and to generate that type of interest? You said you sent for Wiley, but was it the Logan Sama situation where he was doing the war dubs and then like, that's where
This is way before the war. This is not way before, but yeah, this is a little bit before.
So this is before the war dubs.
This
So
is
that's where I
before
heard
the war
most of the.
dubs.
That's where I heard most war dubs was like Logan Sama introduced me to a lot of that.
Yeah.
So before that, so we're
This is
talking about
before that.
Rewind forums.
Yeah,
So we're in
exactly.
Rewind forums. You've clashed
Yeah.
Wiley now, and
Yeah.
forums are going mad about it, and that's
Yeah.
how the buzz is being picked up.
Yeah, the buzz being picked up like that, and obviously word of mouth as well was a very strong thing at that time. You get what I mean? Just before like social media and all that, word of mouth was a big thing, and radio, pirate radio was the main thing. So obviously a lot of people talking about it on radio and whatnot. And remember when we came back, we're still on that gas. So we're going Heat FM, we're still slewing, we're still doing the mob thing. Like you get what I'm saying? So
And just make it clear, when you went Heat FM, you didn't pay subs, did you?
No, because remember when Chris J went to jail, and Dice started running it.
Yeah.
Presto, who's my chargey obviously,
Calm.
and was my DJ at the time, was helping with running the station, innit? So obviously I was kind of part of that, so to speak. You get
So
what
then
I'm
you
saying?
got an opportunity to go on
Yeah,
Heat FM, and Heat FM was
yeah.
big in the end.
Exactly.
Massive.
So I was there all the time.
When was
and
your
we'd
set?
go, I can't even remember. When was our set? I can't even remember, you know, bro. I can't even, I can't even remember. I can't even remember. But yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, so like after the clash, we'd come back on the radio, still doing all of that. And big ups to Wiley, because he even came to hit, because we had 2 clashes. A lot of people that might not know that. So we had the clash in Napa, then we came back and we clashed on Heat FM again. So like I said, that was the main way things would get heard, is through pirate radio. So then anyway, that buzz has calmed down, because remember, I'm new to this. I don't know what I'm meant to be doing. I don't have management, all these type of things. I don't know what I'm meant to be doing. All I know is pirate radio, write bars, and murk. Anytime I need to turn up and run up with the man them, I'm there, I'm ready.
Coming true.
That is all I really knew. So obviously that buzz has died down a bit. And then I was like, right, music, like, I still didn't see it, like,
As a job, an occupation.
you get what I mean?
There's no one in Tottenham that's doing it to the level where you can go, maybe a Lamar 50-50, he'd done his thing MPK, but there was nothing.
Yeah, but Lamar was Lamar.
Different genre of music, so there was
exactly.
nothing that represented man.
So then I kind of went back to the road kind of thing, not really taking music, doing it, dipping in and out. And then obviously, at that point, I think Skep and Jay were with Roll Deep and broke off from Roll Deep and started Boy Better Know. Skep,
What year is that?
probably like 2005.
Ooh.
So Skep, Maximum, and Jamie, the original 3, and Wiley, yeah, the original. That's what how. But that were the original Boy Better Know members before me.
So Skep,
So
Jamie, Maximum, Wiley, original Boy Better
they
Know.
were the first Boy Better Know members, and then obviously I've seen Jamie. Do you know what? Jamie and Skep were probably the first 2 that were close to me, that I could see were making progress and shit was happening to make me say, all right.
What were some of the things that you saw
That
when
is
you go,
what I needed.
maybe this can happen?
Like when I just saw the amount of love that Jamie and Skep were getting, especially when Skep started MCing. 'Cause remember, Skep started as a DJ. So when I saw him switch it and start spitting, I was like, "Rah." And he was sick. Remember, this is man's DJ, you know. This is a man's. This brother was a producer and a DJ. Never spat a bar. I never heard him spit a bar ever. Then all of a sudden, man's not only spitting, but man's one of the hardest already.
He came up attacking,
Yeah?
beat a
So
man. It was lit.
that was, them things there were kind of like the first things that I saw to make me say, all right, cool. Maybe start. And then I sat down one day, I had a conversation with Jamie and said, bruv, look, this was when the mixtape thing was starting now. Jamie just put out a mixtape, the first Boy Better Know edition 1.
Yeah.
That was getting bare love. And I was like, you know what? And prior to that, I had done 2 compilation mixtapes, but like give out mixtapes, and they weren't all my songs. They were like compilation of music of people in the scene.
Yeah.
You get me? So I weren't.
So you were just trying to bring everyone.
Yeah, I was doing that from the start. So when
And how did you learn that? You must have learned that from like Americans when they had like their mixtapes and they had bare different tracks on it.
That's where I got.
Oh, right, cool.
That's where I got that from. Still. So I done Back to the Lab Volume 1.
Classic.
Big up Jamie, cause he bossed me showed me about the printing and pressing up and all of that shit. I didn't know nothing about none of that stuff. So he and then so once the mixtape was done, I started doing the mixtape hustle, like record shops, going to record shops, Sailor Return, or then buying the mixtape straight up and all of that shit. Like them ringing you back a month later saying, yeah, the mixtape sold out, we need a new batch, we need a next shipment and all of that shit. So I was doing that for a couple years and that was booming. That was like, at that time, not just me, I'm saying the scene was booming with mixtape. There was a stage where you could go in the record shop, you'll see Skep, Jamie, Frisco, Scorcher, Wretch. You'll see so much different artists from not just from London, but from North London, what you wouldn't have seen before, you know what I mean, on the shelves. And at that time, that was an achievement for you to go in.
What year is this?
I'd say like 2006, 7.
So this is like a year after Boy Better Know was started with the 4 members originally.
Yeah, so I've joined Boy Better Know when I done Back to the Lab 1. So I'd say I joined Boy Better Know just as it started, like 2005, 2006.
That's amazing. So from 2006 now, Back to the Lab's come out. Year from the situation, you're now beginning to take music seriously.
Yeah.
All of this stuff's happened. You've been in Temple, you've seen the vibes, you've kind of inherently learned how to control a crowd from seeing MCs doing it as mic controllers.
Yeah.
And now you're like, you know what? I'm gonna control a crowd, but also I'm gonna add lyrics as well. I'm doing this whole Frisco thing.
Yeah.
When does it become a situation where you're like, wait a minute, this is very serious. We're getting bookings consistently abroad to come and do sets. Westwood's starting out, and Frisco is going with Boy Better Know and bodying Westwood sets the same way. And Westwood became kind of like Heat FM to me, where I could just see everybody under one umbrella, to the point where sometimes people would just jump in the set, and now it was just so wild. What was that era like for Frisco, Boy Better Know, the Westwood era?
Very competitive. Very competitive. So that's where I would say, 2000 no, probably a little bit after that actually, but it was still competitive. I think that's probably where the seeds were sown for the Boy Better Know movement.
You're cold, innit?
Battle. Yeah, a little bit. I'm cool though. I'm cool.
So that's when
I think that's where the seeds were probably sown for that. Hi. So yeah, it's just very competitive. Everyone's the best. Everyone's the guy. Your shit. My mixtape's better than your mixtape. Your mixtape shit. Radio, running up on each other on radio, battling, like that is when all of that shit was kicking off and at least starting anyway.
So I'm thinking about Boy Better Know now. For me, at that point when Westwood's introduced, Boy Better Know for me are the most serious crew. There's a sense of bias because I'm from North London, but on top of that, it was the consistency of the individuals within it. It's not just about, for me, having the best crew, but it's like, but Frisco does his own thing. Jamie does his own thing. Skepta does it. When they come as Boy Better Know, they're great, but individually, they do their own thing. 2011, 2012 was a very interesting time for me. It was an interesting time for me because it almost seems like commercially people were trying to resent grime, and if you did do it, you had a light-skinned girl on the road like Wiley, or it was UK rap getting signed. Despite this, Boy Better Know was still doing Boy Better Know. How difficult was it for you to do a genre of music that you loved, but you could see commercially they were trying to put a ceiling on it where it was like you have to convert when you come over here?
It weren't that hard, if I'll be honest, you know. It weren't hard at all because, like you said, we've built this thing off of us, off of our own work, off of our own characters, off of our own integrity. Like, we've built this ourselves. No one didn't give it to us. No one didn't set something up and say, all right, do this, and if it works, cool. We done everything ourselves. So for us to be ourselves is nothing. Like, this is what we do. Do you understand? It's not like when we do music and we link up and do music where we're saying, all right, what's hot now, or what do we need to do to get a... We don't do that. We just go in the studio and make music. We don't have a conversation about what type of music we want to do, whether it's going to be this or that. We just do the music. That's the truth. Like, we never think too deep into it, like about, is grime the hot thing still now, or is people rating grime still, or are they playing grime on radio? We don't give a fuck about... Can you swear?
Yes.
We don't give a fuck about radio, or no disrespect to radio.
No, 100% I understand where you're coming from.
You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, we're not doing shit to fit into anything. We don't do stuff to fit in. We do stuff because this is what we do. So it's never going to be hard for us to do what we do because we've been doing it, and like I said, this is us.
So that's virtually very, very evident because you didn't compromise anything you were doing. But one thing I liked about you, Frisco, is obviously, man's a Jamaican you. I loved when you started taking an individual journey properly away from it all, and it was more as Frisco. And I think I caught onto it late because at that time there's things happening anyway, so your minds are so distracted. And it was one song that stood out for me. One song, and this is years later now. Are You Really From the Ends? Everything about that song, everything about that feel, the video, the hook, the way you approach it, just everything. It reminded me of when I watched them when I watched them videos of like rappers in the States and they're just on their block and there is somewhere like weird in Atlanta or somewhere, do you know what I'm saying? It was such an authentic feel. What has that journey been like? Because it was almost like, I could tell, that's a Rasta man right there. That is a Rasta man in the making, right there. You can feel it. What was the whole of that song process like, and what made you go, that's the type of approach I want to take for this type of Frisco journey? Was it just a natural thing that was happening in life anyway?
Nah, it was a conscious decision to make.
Why?
Because at that time, that song was off of a project called British Nights, which was like my first concept kind of project where I'm talking about, I wouldn't even say it's a concept project, it's just my first project where I open up and speak about a lot of things that I've never,
so you decided to, well, brother, I respect, I.
Yeah, that was the first project I started, because I've always spoke about stuff, but gone into detail about a lot of stuff that I've never spoken about, because I'm quite private.
You are?
You know what I mean? I'm quite a private person, so.
Why did you choose that time to open up then?
Because I just felt like that's what my music needed. I feel like everyone knows I'm a sick MC, everyone knows I can flow, I got bars and all that. But people need to hear a bit more of you now. They don't know you really. They think they know you, but you ain't told them anything yet. That's what I'm saying to myself.
Oh, so you had a conversation with yourself and you realised I haven't even been giving myself through.
Yeah, I've been giving you, not even a version, I've been giving you bits and pieces of myself and like maybe the funny parts you know,
but not the vulnerable parts.
Not the vulnerable parts. That's what it is. That you hit the nail on the head. Not the vulnerable parts. Not the parts that I'm not sure if I really want to say this.
It might make you feel a little bit uncomfortable because you're a private person, but you know what? You put you in a place of vulnerability and say, let me see how the world takes it.
Yeah, so even on that song, I'm saying a lot of stuff. I'm talking about my situation with my son, my son's mum, my baby mum, this, that, road stuff, like just stuff that I wouldn't normally go into so much detail about. You get what I'm saying? So when the instrumental to that is produced by a guy called Guido from Bristol, and the instrumental was about for years before I done the song.
No way.
The instrumental was about for years before I done the song, and I always liked it. But it was such a sick instrumental, I thought, you can't just spray normal bars on this. You need to be actually saying something on this one. So one day I just said, you know what? I'm gonna holler at my man, tell him I want to use the beat, because I wrote some bars. I started writing some bars to it. So I wrote the verses, and I thought, yeah, this is connecting, cause this is like proper vulnerable, like you said, proper vulnerable. And there's other songs on that project that's even more vulnerable than that one, but that one there was quite vulnerable. So then the hook, I didn't really want to do like, I didn't want to do too much of a
wordy hook.
Yeah, exactly.
I wanted it to be more melodic.
I wanted it to be a bit more melodic. So actually, do you know what? I didn't even know. That's a lie, because at that time I didn't know what I wanted to do with the hook.
Oh.
I actually didn't know what to do on the hook, and I sent it to Chip. No, actually, Chip. Well, I think it was at Skeps Yard one day, and Chip was there, and we played it, and I said, "Yo." I think it might have even been Skep's idea to put Chip on that. I think. Why don't you ask
It's all coming together.
I think it might, if I can remember rightly, when we were sitting down, why don't you ask Chip? And he's coming anyway, and he came and played it. It was like, yeah, boom, bang. And then the rest is history.
The hook was incredible.
The rest is history.
Yeah, are you really, really from? Like the hook is a rude boy
Yeah,
thing,
so big up Chip still, car. He iced it, and I would never have done that on the hook.
So how did that change you? Because for me, it made me go, wait a minute, have I been ignoring Frisco for a little bit? And I had started to pay attention again, and I started seeing a process of real individuality that I found inspiring. Because I think sometimes maybe some people, some of us, definitely me actually, I speak for myself, when you're in a successful group of people and things are going well, I've been known to get lazy sometimes. You get lazy, and then it's like, wait a minute, but what am I bringing to the table? That vulnerability led you to another part of your journey that I want to speak about. And I think it's something that I want to talk about as much as I can moving forward. I had the pleasure, and I call it an honor as well, of hosting at the last one. And it's something called The Den. The reason I want to speak about that because it's another extension of how unique your mindset is, how you see things, and you just run with it. Why did you start The Den?
Because there was nothing else at the time that was anything like it happening. I wanted to bridge the gap between new artists and established artists, and not just that. I wanted to put it all on one platform. You understand? I wanted to let the established artists share their fans with some of the new guys, and some of the new guys that have got new fan base, share them with some of the more established people. And I wanted to put it in a setting where it was like, it just felt like old school, like 300 people in a small, intimate setting and just vibes going off. Like back in the day, we had loads of them. You know what I'm saying? When we was first starting out, but you didn't have none of that at that time. I started it in 2015, so there was nothing at the time that was even remotely close. That where you could go and see Boy Better Know, Gigs, whoever, like all the you can. I can't even think of all the artists that have been on The Den. Like it's been everyone in the UK. Loads of people. Do you understand?
Literally everyone has been to The Den.
Yes, Mickey, bless.
Everyone has been to The Den.
Yeah, literally everyone. I can't even. There's been so much names and people like, especially artists, when they were at the beginning of their journey. People like Steph London, Miss Banks, all these people have come and done The Den when they were just starting out or just getting a buzz, or you know what I mean. There's been so much people, but like my thing is I've always wanted to
provide that type of
that type of space where people can come. People like think about it. There's going to be certain people on the lineup that are new, that are still fans of the people that they're on the lineup with.
Yeah.
Which will give you a bit of a boost, or give you a bit more inspiration and a bit more drive to say, right, I'm doing something right. You get 100%
what I'm saying? If you're on the same lineup as them.
You get what I mean?
100%. And then Frisco's called you. It's The Den. It's Frisco's
exactly.
establishment. You're like, this is way too much even for my head to comprehend when I think about it.
Yeah, it does a lot. It does a lot for the artists in their self. Like not just put them on a platform and get their fans up and get. Not just that, it does something for them inside to say, right, you know what, that's giving me a bit more drive to go studio tomorrow and make another banger, or do you know what I mean?
This is what I mean about this individual journey you've taken, because it looks like from being part of a very successful and still part of a very successful group of individuals, you've taken everything you would have learned in there, and now you're doing it and extending it to the actual scene itself.
Yeah.
And you're saying, let's give opportunities to people like Steph London before she's the Steph London that we see today.
Yeah.
How long is The Den going to even run for?
The Den's not going to stop for now. Like, we've been going for nearly 6 years now, so we're not stopping now. We've taken The Den across the world now. The Den's been across Europe, it's been in the USA. Next stop, Jamaica.
The Den, Jamaica? Listen, I'm in there with Buju.
You get me? Trust me, that'll be the next thing still. But
with popcorn, eating popcorn. Listen, please.
My main thing is to if someone's helped you, you should help. You should, and even if someone hasn't helped you, if you've got something or a platform, or you've got something that you know you can help people with, or you can not just help people, help the scene, help the music, you should be doing it, man.
Especially if you've been in the scene for a while, you might actually have a better understanding of how difficult certain things are. And like, I would definitely go to a night that Frisco's putting on, because he's been in the scene for so long. He's actually aware of all the dangers, how people might con you, so on, so forth. So you get a good audience of people, plus maybe some words of advice as well. I just think if there was more things like that.
That's what we need, man. That's what we need. And it was happening at a stage, there was like loads of artist-driven, and not even just artists, like people in the industry-driven events that was happening. Obviously, the COVID's kind of fucked shit up, but
like the rain's fucking this up.
The more of those type of things that we, the musicians, the artists, the actors, the presenters, put on and do ourselves, is the better for us it will be as well.
I totally
You know what
agree.
I mean?
I totally,
the less
totally agree.
the less we let people on the outsiders come in, and yeah, it's cool. Sometimes you're gonna need a little, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the more we can do things ourselves, the better.
And do you know why I always encourage that? I just encourage that because I think everyone coming from the outside in has something.
Exactly.
They
and
have something established. So when they're coming in, it's to take what you have to their establishment. And it's like, build up your own establishment. So when they come to you, it's like, I'm a business, you're a business. Let's have a business conversation.
Exactly.
Let's not have a conversation on how I can take my business to work for you. It just doesn't make sense to me. And it's like, it's right. That's why I would encourage people to go to the den and try and be a part of things like that, because all the knowledge you're going to learn from not just Frisco, but all the other artists on it, it's invaluable for me. I think it's invaluable information. There's one thing I want to ask you as well, Fris, because like I said, being from North London, I've always known who you are. And I've always known who you are because you're a very, very respected figure within the area of Tottenham. That respect now transcended into a respect in London, then a respect in England. This is a respect globally. This respect came with a responsibility. Now, the way you speak now, I don't imagine you would have spoke like that at 17 years old, but it doesn't mean you didn't have the talent. Yeah. But now, years later, as a man, you've understood the responsibility of it. How difficult is that journey as a man to be like, you know, some of the ego that we have when we're younger, something as simple as don't step on my trainers and all of that. How difficult is it to see past all of that? Where else? Popping off. How difficult is it to see past all of that in front of the eyes of the world? Because if you're not doing music, like I said, you're a private person. If you're not doing music, you can just make bare mistakes, no one knows, and before you know it, you're the perfect perception of what, and no one's even seen the journey. You've had to do this journey, bro, in front of not just your area, not just your borough, I'm talking about the world. If people are interested in Grime, they know who you are. You've taken this journey. How difficult is that for a musician?
It can be difficult if you don't know yourself. And I think that's probably the most important part about that, is knowing yourself and knowing that shit's not always gonna go your way.
Chat to them, Frisco. People
truth,
want
bruv.
the perfect world. Shit
Bruv.
is just not gonna go your way sometimes.
You just have to know yourself and know that, right, you know what, we're from the ghetto, bruv. So we're used to being dealt the shortest straw.
Look at the yellow, it's not even yellow. Look at this. It's mixed race now, cuz this is a mad thing. It's the woman thing.
They're mugging it with that sign.
They're mugging it, the sign, man. Update the thing now, refresh.
Look, that's the proper sign there.
They got the sign in blue.
I know,
in
they're
blue.
keeping that one up there for the aesthetics, you get me?
Maybe heritage.
But yeah, man, like, the better you know yourself, the better. Because like I said, we're from the ghetto. We're used to being the shortest straw, so we know how to take an L. I know how to take an L.
Wow.
Do you know what I mean?
We know how to take an L, innit?
Yeah. Or we know how to.
We're not talking about drugs, by the way.
We know how to make the most out of what we got, because we're not used to having what everyone else has got.
Ooh, so can I ask you this then? Does the problem come with, you said two sick things, shit's not always gonna go your way, and we're used to having very little and making something very big. So is the problem, if you go commercially, where you get given more, is it the difficulty task of, wait a minute, I've come from shit and I've made great stuff, now you've put me in a better environment? Is that the difficult task for most people? If you've been, say, 19 years in shit, and you now just learned after 19 years how to make it great, and then they put you in a great one and say, yeah, do the same thing over here. Is that a difficult task for a lot of people?
I think, yes, because I think what it is we ain't got enough knowledge. We don't know how, like, no one sits you down and schools you on how this is gonna be when you get into music and you start making loads of money, and no one tells you, right, put your money or do this with your money, or do that, do anything sensible with your money. Do you know what I mean? So if you're 17, 18, 19, bro, and you're used to being broke,
yeah,
and now you've got all this P, of course you're gonna go and splurge, bro.
Of course, Gucci on a mad thing.
Like, you're not thinking this money's gonna done. You're thinking 10 bags to you is a mad thing. 10 bags.
When I saw 10 bags,
£10,000. If at that time I got 10 bags, yeah, at 16, 17, yeah, I would have been a prick as well. Yeah, because I wouldn't know what the fuck I'm doing. You know what I mean? So you can't blame the youths or whoever when that happens, because it's a cycle. It's been happening. It's been happening before us. It's gonna carry on happening after us. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the truth, bro. So what we need more is like more people to say, right, you know what, these man, and then because it's both sides. So we need people that can kind of, or somewhere or something that can, you know, when the youth, I don't want to keep saying youths, when the artists, young artists are getting into music, or they might be on the verge of blowing up, they need the right team around them of people, and I'm seeing it happening more with newer artists now,
Proper.
which is sick.
They're so intelligent.
I am seeing it happening more, but like we need more of that. Where
just reinforcing it, how important it is.
Yeah, like what you need to be doing with your P's. Don't, you know what I mean? Like you don't need to preach, but come on, we need to know, like, where should I be investing my money, bro? Where's a good place to put my P's into? Like, that's away from this shit that might pay me when this shit slows down, you get me? Like, we need all of that shit. And then,
so you need to have, would you say, different revenue streams, because eventually, it's true, you can't, if you're 20 years old doing backflips on stage because you can do that, I don't imagine you do that at 50, so it's like,
yeah, it's just about setting up stuff. When you got the flame and the fire burning, set shit up, bro. So, like I said, we need more stuff that we're doing, that we're putting together. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So when an artist rings me and says, Fris, boom, I'm putting on this show, I'm there, bruv, because I'm like, if a promoter rings, well, the promoter's not going to ring me, but gets to my agent, then the first thing is money. How much? Where is it? Like what it depends on is the conversation is different. What it depends on is so much other stuff, namely money. You get what I'm saying? Now, if you ring me now, the conversation is not going to be about money, bro. No. You know what I mean? Off of the strength of us both being in the, like, we're colleagues, so to speak, and aside from that, we're friends. Yes, I am going to do that, bro. What is it for? Like, what's this cause for? Yeah, I'm there, bro. I'm there. Let me know I'm there. I don't want no peace for it, bro. I'll do it for free.
And I have to be very clear about this. Like, despite the fact we're from the same area, I have not known you my whole life. I was saying just with camera, 2009, seeing you in Wood Green outside Mush, begging for an interview for the That's a Rap show. Like, that's my first proper talking encounter with you. So even 11 years on, for me to be sitting here and like, whoa, like, this is incredible for me. So yeah, 100%, I think, I like, what you're saying makes perfect sense to me. I think the things that mean a lot to me culturally, I cannot involve money in that conversation.
Yeah, exactly.
Because I recognize all of us have come from shit. So for me to ask you for money when we've all come from the same place, it doesn't make sense to me. But to me, ask Coca-Cola for some money or Pepsi for something, they are not coming from the same place as me.
Exactly.
So I will happily take their money, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Has that not been enforced properly? Because people will say, oh, that's business. But then as I've got older and does business, I've just seen right ways to do business and I've seen bad ways to do business. Do you feel sometimes victimizing an individual or putting them in a situation that they know they can't really get out of purely because of where they come from, is that something that needs to stop within our scene? Do we need to be trying to help the individuals as much as we can coming from similar backgrounds as ourselves without the involvement of money?
Yeah, definitely. There's just in the scene in the general, man, I think like the more of that type of stuff that's happening, and it not only is it better, it makes it easier for the artists. It makes it easier because there's a narrative that's pushed out there about artists and about the negative side of things, and there's a negative side to everything in the world. So yeah, we're not disputing that, but let's not make it seem like this is like our whole shit's built off of negativity, because it ain't. And the ratio of events, shows, and stuff that happen that go through successfully, no trouble, no problems, are way higher than the ones that there are trouble at. Do you know what I mean?
100%.
So the more things that we look, the Den's been going for nearly 6 years. It's not had nothing.
There's so much vibes there. The Den is such a vibe.
So much vibes. Mickey, you good? There, family. Yeah, man. It's not had not one even squirmish, and that's and
It's the
that's
respect for you though. Like it's respect for you.
Yeah,
Man come there like,
definitely.
wow, Frisco's event. Like we would never disrespect it. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, definitely, I agree with that. But at the same time, some of that is testament to the artists and the people that are coming there, because you know, as artists, you roll, you've got your crew, you've got your friends who you roll with. A lot of times when shit goes wrong, it's not the artist, it's the people you're with. Anytime you hear about something,
It's always the people that they were
it's
with.
always
that cause
someone that you was with. So just based off me knowing that, and it's been going for nearly 6 years, and everyone's come with sometimes people come with 10 people, 20 people, like it's, you know what I mean? The numbers are mad certain times, but there's not been so things like that need to be highlighted.
Yes.
Let's not just talk about when
the
shit
bad
goes
things
wrong.
gone bad. Yeah.
When shit's going right and been going right, let's talk about that as well. Like, I think we should highlight these things.
But do you think that's more of a responsibility of culture? Because we shouldn't rely on commercial to say good
The
things about
media
what we're
as
doing.
well, the media.
But the media they have a job and a role and a responsibility to get numbers, where I think if you're involved in a situation, your
Right.
responsibility is different because you've got more information.
Right, so look, like I was saying, yeah, I agree with you what you said about media and numbers and that, yeah, totally agree. But that's why we need more people like yourself that are in the media, that are representing us the right way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Representing us the right way. That's what we need. We need the people like the poets, the Chuckies, all these podcasts and stuff that I see. We need like those people as part of the media to represent us properly, where the bullshit media's been fucking us about for years and misrepresenting us.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need those people to
Fix up. Let's start doing
I
it
wouldn't
from-
even say fix up, because you're not doing anything wrong, but we need you to say, right, when there's shit in the media that's being like a false narrative being pushed, we need people like you to come out and say, nah, that's not how it goes.
Because we have all the information, and I
You've
think
got the
that's so
information,
important.
and you lot are like ground level with us. You know us. You can ring man's phone anytime. So I think those things are quite important, man.
I totally agree, man. Yeah, well, Frisco, I think the rain's going to get extremely heavy now. What I would say is, bro, again, thank you so much for this. This is 11 years. I asked for this 11 years ago, so it's not like, and I'm glad it took 11 years, because there's so much more to talk about. And I think one of the most incredible things I can say from my part is, I've known you before you've known me. And just when you see the journey of someone from your area and all the things that they're involved in and all their accomplishments, it makes you feel so proud. And then we can still come back to Tiverton, despite the fact that it's still not yellow, and we can have a conversation.
Fam,
and it's just nothing but love.
The wickedest thing is, you say that, yeah, but I remember you before Poet, like before Poet, the presenter, yeah. I remember when you used to do music, bruv. Like,
But everyone hated me, so I was scared.
I remember you and Scribs, bruv, on
My
Channel.
cousin.
You man were on Channel U before me. When I really think about it, like I might have been on Channel U before you, like with features and that, but doing man's own tunes, because like I said, them times I probably still wasn't taking it as serious as I should have been.
Yeah, but I was
know what I mean?
involved though, and I knew Rewind Forums, Heat FM, Axe FM, Scrap Channel. If you just done one Channel U thing, so what? Man will go to a set now. Man are looking at you like, it's them pop artist guys. I see that Scribs. We need to do something. Come from the sweet shop.
You're right.
Man, no, we're out here.
You're right. Man's mentality was different them times there, bruv. Man was young and dumb, bruv. Like I used to see certain people and look at you like, nah, he's a chief. like that's the thing, bruv. Man, the growth is real, bro, because
proper.
like man's whole outlook, and I think that's coming from the road as well. Like you look at people and just think these guys are chiefs, though. Like, and I hate that way of looking at things, because because how can you say that? Because you're looking at these man like, oh, these man do music, man. These man are like, you're not on the road like that or whatever. But now you do music, so what? So should people look at you like that? You get what I'm saying? Even though I ain't on the road no more like that, but you know what I mean?
No,
There's a silly way of looking at things, because like a man could have been sick, bruv, but you might have just looked, I don't know, bruv.
I looked kind of worse.
I'm not saying you specifically.
I'm joking,
I'm just saying a man could have been good. A man had to have been really sick for me to just not look at nothing else on you.
Yeah.
You
Do you
get
know
what
what
I'm
it was?
saying?
I knew.
And I think that's a shit way of looking at things.
No, but I understand though, because if you go, Kirk will remember, my bro will remember. One time we went to, what was the radio station at Manor House? Huh? It might have been Mystic. The first time I went Mystic, my brother, I went with Scribs. It's Mystic, innit? Bro, I have never seen so many puffer jackets in July in my whole entire life. And then we're in a cramped room, and I'm
bare weed smoke in the room as well.
I got a baby blue jacket on, a Winnie the Pooh bag. I got why everyone was like, what the hell's wrong with this you? And I'm like, ah. But for me, it was like, I'm always gonna try and look completely different to my environment and accept everything.
And that's why I rate you, brother. And that's why I respect you, because since then till now, not saying you ain't grown up, but you've never tried to not be yourself, bruv. You've always been, right, you know what? I'm not on what these men are on, but I can rate it, but that's not me, you know?
Yeah,
I'm not on that. And I respect that, bruv, because it's not easy, especially at the time. Bro, peer pressure's a serious thing, you know, fam. Do you get what I'm saying? It's easy for everyone to say, yeah, I'm real now, like I know. But when you was young, bruv, shut up, bruv.
Listen, I can tell you right now.
When you was young, you were doing shit that your brethren were doing, sometimes that you didn't necessarily want to do, yeah? Especially coming from where we're coming from, bruv, yeah?
I can tell, man, I carried in Luton, a long time ago, I carried a rucksack with something in it for 5 months, and at the end of that journey, I got the beating of my life and told my mum it happened in football. Because I was like, that life is not for man, it's too mad. I didn't even tell anyone. I was so embarrassed. I was like, bruv. So the respect I had from that, for people that were my area, I was like, no one even knows what we have to go through, bro. Like, this is too mad. So I couldn't begrudge anyone, because I tried to dabble in everything, and they just said, this is my thing.
Simple.
Skinny jeans sometimes, you might get abused. Snapbacks, and man are like, wow, we wear fitted. 3 years later, everyone's wearing snapbacks. I'm like, no. Skinny jeans too. So no, I really love my area, because it's what you said. You may say I've always been myself, but I just feel like people were being the version of themselves, and that's what it was. So, man, I've said bye like 9 million times. Frisco, thank you so much.
We've got to do it again sometime, bro.
100%, bro.
We've got a part 2 coming soon, man.
Yeah.
There's bare things that we ain't even covered, but I think that was a good start.
Good start. Well, next time I come, I'm bringing some yellow paint, because in my house, there's only so long I can accept this for.
I know, man.
It hasn't even got the Y. Why ain't it got the Y, big man? Like, share and subscribe, and buy me a new chair.
And a picture of me at the station with some Chinese girl that's a quarter Bayesian. Deny the truth, accept the lie. Risk it all, say goodbye. The fuck thing, if you was my daughter, I'd tell you, girl, spread your wings and fly. Glass of Henny as you chase the truth, but I ain't keen to drink tea of roof. I play to win, so if you leave, I lose. Love's a spliff and I ain't rating twos.